with that recap out of the way, we are going to go ahead and go into hour number 3. I'm not sure how long this is going to be tonight because I haven't done any prep for the third tower. So it'll probably just be your journey to the tower. So you guys are going to be undertaking a perilous journey. So please determine a trailblazer, scout, and quartermaster for the trip.
I'm gonna scout.
Okay.
And I know Estelli's has some really fantastic food that she, as quartermaster, would love to share with the party.
That's up to Estelise.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Hey, I went off and did this on my own. You don't know I have these rations.
All right, fair enough. So I guess I'm as quartermaster again.
It's up to you guys.
Like, your chefing skill with all that magical fire is just amazing.
Only slightly singed. Wizard's fire is hard to control.
So then we have a quartermaster and a scout. Who is going to be the trailblazer?
Estelle, do you have better wisdom or than Z had?
I think it's about the same.
It's the same
Okay.
modifier.
Same modifier.
Technically worse.
I'll do it this time around.
Okay.
All right, so that's wisdom roll.
Yes, everyone can roll plus wisdom.
The look on your face, Nox.
So,
Now to go over to the stream and get an instant replay on that.
Just out of curiosity.
Oh,
How
there
the
it
fuck
is.
did I do that?
I love it.
okay.
Yeah, Zed's rolling fantastic tonight. Let's get into some combat so I could throw
So,
off some fireballs.
Axiom. First things first, mark XP. Secondly, let me look at the GM moves and see what I get to do.
My computer froze for like a minute.
Oh. Everything okay?
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright. Okay.
Yeah, I guess. I think maybe. If I disappear though, then I guess my computer's crashing.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
So, Axiom takes you on a shortcut that goes off of the road. And Olivia, you go along with this because you know that if you're not on the road, you're going to be able to avoid bandits and those kind of dangers and stuff.
Makes
And
sense.
By the 4th day...
Wait, we're letting Zed navigate?
No,
No.
you're letting Axiom navigate.
Oh, Axiom
If
navigate.
you had
Okay.
let me
I was gonna
navigate,
say.
we wouldn't have had this problem.
I don't know if
I
the
rolled
whole- I don't know that-
Technically, if I would have navigated, it would have been amazing. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I don't think Olivia would have let Zed navigate because the whole reason we met is that Zed was lost in a forest. So
Michelle, can I make one up for this?
Sure.
I've got a good reason for this.
Okay, go ahead.
So Axiom thought, okay, this tower is a giant source of evil. So I thought in my head, or he thought in his head, I just need to find the evil. So he prayed for where is evil, and he went that way.
That actually works very well. Because of what I was going to plan.
you found the roaming necromancer lord. Good job.
The ancient lich who was just out for a stroll.
So by the 4th day, you kind of realize that you're... No, I would say by the 6th day, when you haven't arrived at the tower, you realize that you were not in the right place. And that's because you're standing on the edge. Like, you're not standing on the edge, but like, you're standing, like... Okay, so you're standing on the edge of the forest that you were traveling through, and there is there's a bit of a clearing, like a meadow, and then on the other side of the meadow, you see a forest that is completely red. Like, the leaves are red, the foliage on the ground is red, the leaves that have fallen and cover the ground are red, and as it is struck by the sunlight, the midday sun, it almost looks like it's on fire, like it's burning. And to Zed, this sight is very familiar.
I was
And
going
to
ask if you
Axiom,
recognized it.
this know that there is a great evil in the heart of this forest.
One that we may or may not have just unleashed.
Unleashed.
Oh yeah, what did we see when we looked through that scope again? Wasn't it like a red forest? Am I remembering incorrectly there?
No, you're not remembering incorrectly.
You
That's
saw
exactly
a
what it was.
burning red forest.
Hmm.
Not on fire, but burning in like
Right.
color.
I mean, I guess that's what we're looking for, really, isn't it? Like, I think that's more what we're looking for than the tower. Let's just
I
go.
think Axiom would mention at this point, I believe that Avel has guided me here for a reason.
I
Totally.
tend to agree. Like the missing person is here, so we need to find them.
So,
And this
I mean,
time,
this is-
I have come equipped to actually fight them.
And
Olivia-
it is linked with our curse. I mean, we could very easily find something here. Zed would probably be for it. It's like, well, it's not exactly where we were planning on going. But while we're here,
So, Olivia, Zed, and Estelise, I need you to mark down 6 rations since you have been traveling for 6 days.
Yep, I
Axiom,
did that.
since you are still on your quest, even though you've led the party completely astray.
I led them to the evil, just not
Yeah,
the
but
evil originally
You let
intended.
us where we were looking for, really.
But the
it's just
thing
none of us knew
is,
that that's what we were
though,
looking for.
is that it's not part of your quest though. Like so, if you choose to go into this forest, is that going to be you abandoning your quest, or are you still in pursuit of that?
Depends. Did any of them mention, perhaps, that they've seen this place before?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably have described why I think it's a good idea to go into the forest, which
Okay,
is that
and
like
so
the
they would
monster
have
that went
mentioned
missing
that they
from the
found
last
an item
tower
in
is
the
probably in
town.
here.
Okay, so in other words, this place is therefore associated with the Dark Tower. So my quest to find the secret of these towers, or find the, what was it exactly? It was something like discover more about the towers. This place would be related to that.
Okay, I mean that's legit. If you can rationalize it, I'll let you have it. Okay. So
and thus Axiom gets away with not having to eat or sleep for yet another set of days.
But this actually is directly related. You guys
that-
find
that
this
actually
item
totally
in the
related.
tower that
The
guys
fact that
can
it's
hear.
related is why we're not just going to turn around and go somewhere else.
Yeah, otherwise we would leave.
all right, so you are standing in front of this burning red forest.
No. Oh. No, I'm not gonna. What's it called? Metagame?
All right. Zed would like to cast Detect Magic. I want to see whether or not the trees are enchanted, the leaves are enchanted. Like, what about this forest is magical? Is it just like a whole aura? Is it
Roll
each-
plus intelligence.
Okay.
Okay. Describe how it looks when you are casting your spell.
Zed holds up his staff in one hand and his open palm in the other, makes his hand go into a circle. As he does so, it forms a large circular rune in the air. And then he says, I need a good key word. He says a loud finishing
Retrixel.
word. Retrixel? No, I don't think that sounds like a very good finishing word for that, but whatever. He says a loud finishing word for it. You can all make up your own. And upon doing so, his eyes like cloud over with like blue haze.
All right.
Magic.
As you as the magic clouds over your eyes, you can see like a faint shimmer in the trees and in the air and in the ground of magic. You can tell that this is a magical forest, though you're not sure what it is enchanted with, or if it is that the trees themselves are magical, or if it is an enchanted forest. but you can tell that there is like everything in here is magic. Everything is suffused with magic. And but you can see in the distance, far in the distance, like it would probably be several hours walk into the forest. There's something in the heart of this forest that radiates magic, like much more strongly than just this sort of general haze of magic that's over the forest.
So then one could intuit, is that the word? That that heart of the forest thing is radiating outward, thus causing the magic that I'm seeing with the rest of the trees.
You could intuit that, or it could be just that there is something hidden in here, but there is also, like, you don't believe that these two things are connected necessarily. It could be that this item is making the forest magical, or it could be that this forest was enchanted separately and then the item placed within, or that there is a being in there that likes to be in there because it's a magical forest. It's really hard to tell. But you can tell that they're not, like, directly linked. Like, it's not that this is a faint aura of this greater magical thing.
Okay. So I go ahead and I let the party know that, yes, indeed, this entire forest is magical, and at the heart of it, there is an extremely strong presence of magic.
Axiom would also, at this point, mention that he felt a great evil also emanating from the center of the forest.
So there's a great magical evil awaiting us in the center of this forest.
All right, then. Let's go.
I have to wonder if Michelle had planned for this particular part. If the tower wasn't ready yet.
Well, you know, I have several fronts going.
Oh boy.
That's how you do Dungeon World. You go like, okay, let's pick
Side quests for days.
pretty much. You write up fronts and then you write up questions like, how is Olivia going to react to this? Or I don't have any for Estelise yet, though, because she's new. I do have some Z questions that I'm going to have to rewrite, though.
Let's see here. Would I be able to spout lore about this particular forest? I'm sure
You tried to do so when you viewed it through the spyglass, and you didn't know anything.
Yes, you're right.
Well, this whole place has to do with fire. Avel has something to do with fire.
Well, I mean,
I'll try spouting more.
it's fiery in color, but it's not actually on fire.
Ah.
So when I describe it as a burning red, it's not actually burning. It just looks like it is because it's so vibrantly red and the sun is so intense here.
It's very autumnish.
Yeah, it's like very autumn, except it's super red. It's like saturated like your shirt
Unnatural.
is. Yes, it's very unnatural. I mean, you could try to spout lore if you want to, but don't even bother rolling because you do not know anything about this forest.
Okay.
All right. So, before us stands a magical forest with a great, powerful, evil magic in the center. Are we proceeding forward into,
I think so.
We have no idea what this forest's magic is. It may be, a trap, a defense. It could be set to, pull people in instead of try to keep them out. It could just be pretty magic. Someone has decided that they really like the color red, and they made this forest red.
Magical decorator.
We have no idea. So, do we march right into what could possibly be a trap? I don't think we're going to find any solutions out here, though.
I don't think it's likely to be a trap because the reason we're going in there is because we know things about it that tell us that the thing we're looking for is probably in there. Otherwise, we wouldn't want to go in there.
All right. Axiom can detect evil more reliably than I can detect magic. I recommend Axiom lead the way. Although he did us a fantastic job of leading us to the tower previously, perhaps he will be able to lead us to the source of the evil.
We're also heading through a forest. Hungry animals aren't necessarily evil.
Right. I'm suggesting you lead the party to the center of the forest.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay? We all agreed? We good? We going on?
Catilyn?
Yeah.
Okay. Heading out.
Okay. As you start to move through this forest, you don't really see like any clear path through it. Like as you're going through, you're having to push apart like underbrush and branches and basically like duck your way through and weave and step around things. Like even if Olivia starts to look for like a game trail that you could follow to make your path easier through the forest, there doesn't seem to be anything. And that's when you notice that actually, could Olivia, since you are a ranger, could you please make for me a discern realities roll plus wisdom?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're not trying to discern realities and you're not asking me a question, but I'm going to give you some information. You notice
Alright.
that you don't hear any animals. Like, you would
Okay.
expect to hear rustling of, like, rodents in the brush or birds in the trees tweeting or something, and you don't hear anything. There's no breeze. It is unearthly silent in here. The only sounds of passage are your own.
Okay. I
And
mean,
that-
I point that out to the party, but that's kind of expected considering it's like a magical forest with evil in it.
Yeah, I mean, that just really sticks with you. Like,
Mhm.
you knew that there was like that there was a residue of magic on this forest, but either that residue has chased away these creatures, or this forest is inhospitable to them, or there's just something very unnatural about it.
I mean, with great power comes great responsibility. If we wanted to, we could head back to the clearing and Zed could just burn the whole thing down. But I don't know. It's a
I
possibility.
mean, for all we know, it could be like the sacred forest when at the middle is the tree that sustains all life on Earth, and that's why the evil boss is going there. I don't think it's a good idea to burn down random magic forests just in case it will help.
It would certainly make our path a lot easier. All right, well, fine then. It was just amusing.
So, you basically have rough going trying to work your way through this forest. Are you just going to keep trudging through, or do you try to do anything to make your path easier, or...
I hack and slash the bushes.
I mean... Alright, so you get out
Oh, that was
your...
the damage.
Yeah, well, that's fine, because you're not supposed to roll rolls like that unprompted.
Sorry.
That's okay. I know you got excited. So, do you actually want to take your halberd and clear some of the brush away?
If it makes going easier.
I mean, you want to try to do that to make it an easier way to go?
It might also
Ooh.
piss off the forest.
Because you know that there is magic on the forest. I'm giving you a moment to think about this before you commit.
I wouldn't do it.
I first pray, what here is evil?
Again, you sense that presence in the center of the forest. The forest itself does not seem to be evil, but there is something...
Then I don't hack and slash.
Okay. So yeah, so you just continue to trundle your way towards the center of this forest.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you doing anything to try to mask your presence, or... I mean, I know you're not. Is anybody doing anything to try to mask their presence or try to remain unseen or anything else special?
I mean, Olivia would probably sort of try to do that by default, but like, since everybody else isn't doing that, there's not really much point to...
Unless
Sure.
you were... I mean, you could still remain hidden in the back.
Yeah, like let the giant chainmail paladin making all the noise attract attention while you're staying in the shadows.
I guess that could be fine. Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Zed's just following behind Axiom. I'm assuming Astellis is taking up the rear, or like
Yeah, I'm kind of observing what y'all are doing at the moment.
Are you
of
doing
our
anything?
three.
Sorry, I was going to ask, are you doing anything else in particular, Estelise?
Mm,
Do you also want to try to remain more, not necessarily hidden, but at least less noticeable? Like, are you trying to be more quiet
well, I'm
with your
probably
passage?
yeah, I'm probably not presenting myself like super noisy right now because there's nothing really to show off with. So I'm
Okay.
just kind of observing and.
Okay. So you're not making effort to be noisy, but you're also not making special effort to be quiet.
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of like an in between. So it's not like I'm like stomping around or anything, but it's not like I'm being super careful with my movements and.
Okay. And then Zeb, what
I'm
were
just
you saying?
assuming that. I'm just assuming that because of the armor of both Axiom and Astellis, they're probably making a lot more noise than I am. So I'm not necessarily doing anything to be particularly quiet, but it's also probably pretty difficult to hear any footsteps that I make compared to those two. So
Okay, that's fair. So, but are you making any extra effort to be quiet, or are you just?
no, not particularly.
Okay, so just Olivia. All right, I'll keep that in mind. You don't need to roll for it now because there's no danger if you fail at the moment. So there's no reason to roll.
Well, did Olivia make it known that she can't hear any animals?
Yeah,
Yep.
I did point that out.
I'd probably be a little bit more careful at least until I see what's going on.
Okay. I guess the reason I'm asking is that
We're about to
at
be
some
attacked.
point I'm going to probably call on Olivia to defy danger with her dexterity to be quiet. Do you want me to call upon you as well at that time? To be sneaky? Or no?
Yeah,
Who's
well, with the knowledge of everything around, I'd probably be a little quieter than normal.
Okay,
Like,
then
I'd be
I will
taking
call upon you to defy danger with your dexterity if that happens. Okay. So, it takes you several hours just because the brush is rather thick, there are no trails, and it's just very slow going. But Axiom is able to lead you unerringly towards the heart of the forest,
Towards the darkness.
where he senses this evil presence. And it must be, like, you can tell that it's coming upon dusk now because the sun has gotten very low in the sky and is shooting really vibrant shafts of light through this red forest. And you finally make it to this clearing. And yes.
When I notice it getting dark, I asked Buhamut if he would be willing to cast a light spell on my halberd.
And here's where everything starts to go downhill.
No. Zed's on his good day, which means he's always going to pass every roll.
That is a good point. He has rolled like
He
13,
hasn't failed yet.
10.
There's a first time for everything, but here it goes.
Okay.
See?
All right.
It's so weird.
Next time, everything will fail. Not this time.
Next session, we're going to have to cower in fear.
That's when we're actually going to be fighting the boss.
Okay, so your halberd is sheathed in light, and the four of you come to the edge of this clearing in the middle of this red forest, and it's probably probably 100 yards in length, and it's a perfect circle. Like, as if, like, no trees overhang. It's like as if everything has stopped growing in this perfect circle at the center of this clearing. And the only thing that covers it is this fine, soft red grass, and in the center there is a pedestal, and it's made of marble, and there is something on it, but at this distance you can't quite tell what it is. But the way the light hits it, it looks like it is made of metal.
Roughly, how large is both the pedestal and the object?
You can't quite tell at this distance because the way the light is hitting it, like, it's obscuring your vision, but the pedestal is probably like about this big or bigger. Like,
Okay.
And it's fairly tall, and it looks like the object is not, it's not like, it's hanging off of the pedestal as well, but it's like
So the pedestal is, like, for example, not the same size as that circle that was underneath the tower.
Oh, no, it is not.
Okay.
At this distance, would I be able to tell what the evil was?
It is the object on the pedestal.
Okay, I start heading towards the object on the pedestal, ready to smash it with my halberd.
Okay, so as you step into the clearing, can you please defy danger with your wisdom?
No, I cannot.
Okay, go ahead and mark experience.
Woo!
So as go ahead and mark experience as your mind becomes clouded by this voice, and you hear the voice
I
of
suddenly changed my goddess.
you hear the voice of Avel, actually, or at least it sounds like Avel, and suddenly your perception of evil is like distorted. Like, suddenly the light that is being reflected off of this object seems so brilliant and bright and good to you. And
Now, I should point out, he does have senses that pierce lies at this moment, which might be relevant.
well, again, he has senses that pierce lies, but what happens when those senses become clouded?
Then I lose my boon.
Or at least,
So,
I mean, I'm not saying your boon is lost. I'm saying, like, your brain, like, you hear the voice of Avel in your head, and and that.
do I sense it lying?
Well, you hear this voice in your head, and the voice says, Axiom, pick up the sword. And you feel compelled to pick up the sword. I will grant you such power, Axiom.
Now, this clearing, you said it was about 100 feet?
100 yards.
100 yards.
So 300 feet.
And this happened to Axiom pretty much as soon as he stepped into it.
Yes.
We all knew he was heading for the sword with stride and purpose. When this voice starts, does
Probably with a halberd above my head, ready to fucking...
Yeah.
when so it's clear what his intent is.
Yes.
We see he's striding toward evil. He's ready to smash it. Okay. When the voice starts, does it change his demeanor?
It's up to Axiom.
Well, at that point, I'd probably stop and... Like... Obviously, I'm not going to be mid-stride just while Avel's talking. I would stop and hear this command, and apparently I failed my wisdom roll, so I guess I would be going for the sword now with a completely different purpose. I would put down my halberd.
You just
Would I
put
drop-
it down, or?
She's telling me to pick up a sword, right?
Yeah, she told you to pick up the sword and she will grant you power.
I
Such
guess I
power.
dropped my halberd.
Alright, so you see Axiom holding his halberd up with holy purpose suddenly stop, listen, drop his halberd, and walk towards the sword. What do you do?
I would shout out, something's wrong with Axiom, and move forward into the circle myself, expecting something to happen to me.
Okay, roll to defy danger with your wisdom.
Do I
Could
get
he
a
take one forward for, like, prior knowledge? Like he knows something's up. He knows.
Yeah, but
He's expecting.
he doesn't know what's up, though. He just knows that something's up.
I know that as soon as I step into this circle, something is going to happen.
Yeah,
and
but
that
you don't.
whatever
How
it is-
how do you prepare for the unknown? You know something's going to happen, but
You steal yourself.
I
Right,
don't.
like-
I don't
like-
know that that's going to help.
Like if I know that something is going to try to influence.
Yeah,
me,
but if it's a
I saw
magical effect, I don't know.
but you'd be more prepared to disbelieve whatever it says. I mean, Axiom heard the voice of God because it was trying to convince him that it was. You know what I mean? I don't
I'm
know.
gonna say no +1 forward on this.
Okay.
I mean, okay, so you feel something tugging at the corners of your mind, but you're able to shake it off.
All right. So
It sounded almost like whispers, like promises.
So I would I would run toward Axiom. I mean, I'm assuming he didn't get very far ahead, but before the voices took hold and he dropped his thing, he's probably only maybe what 20 feet, maybe. at
I mean,
most.
as soon as he stepped into the clearing, the voices were able to ensorcel him or whatever.
So I just walk forward, grab his shoulders, try to spin him around, and I shout out, "Axiom, don't listen to the voices."
Axiom, what do you do?
I don't know. Can I?
I mean, tell me what
yeah.
you do, at least. Or what you want to do.
I'm like. Well, like the whole thing is like, am I being controlled or not?
You're being influenced, but you're not being, like, you can still act. You're not completely out of control, but your sense of perception is different. So
I guess I would stop and pray. What here is evil?
So you
If like I'd have to ask Avel for guidance. Is it still the sword that's evil, or is it Buhamut that's evil?
Since you are praying to Avel and changing the situation, I will let you defy danger again with your wisdom.
This worked so well before.
That is a pass. So let's see. If you want to be able to shake your mind free and see the truth in this moment, let me look at your sheet because you're going to have to sacrifice something. You are going to have to sacrifice all of the boons granted from your quest because Avel is going to have to withdraw them from you and use that power to pierce this darkness. And also your...
So she's going to have to remove my ability to see through truth, to see through lies, in order for me to see through lies.
She doesn't have the power
sure.
to... like, she's basically burning that in that moment to cleanse these lies from you. So yeah, you're going to have to basically abandon and redo your quest at another point.
So wait, I lose both boons or just that one?
You will lose all your boons and your quest.
Quest failed.
Quest on hold. So, at first, you see Zed as evil, as this darkness, and you're surprised by this because you've, of course...
He wasn't evil before.
Right. And I think for a moment you're shocked and you look back to the sword and it radiates this goodness, but then all of a sudden this the light around it starts to crack like glass and shatters in your vision, and then you see only this dark evilness pulsing from it, and you see you look back to Buhamut, and he's not evil.
Okay. I think I would pick
But
back
you-
up my halberd.
I'm going to continue to not enter the circle at this time.
um
A wise and cowardly decision.
Well, I have a ranged weapon. I don't need to be inside the circle.
so
Voices aren't going to distract my arrows.
You go to pick up your halberd, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this, because basically as you spend time in this circle, this this force from this whatever's on the pedestal is going to be trying to take hold of your minds and influence you. And I think you can feel it like clawing at your mental defenses. And Axiom, you can feel it worming and writhing in the back of your head. But for now, Avel is keeping it at bay, but you don't know how long she's going to be able to, because this place is an unholy place, and so her power here is diminished. She relies on you to be her sword in the darkness.
Should I try to destroy the sword from a distance? I mean, I guess I can't actually tell that it's a sword from here, but the object.
Could I possibly get just a character wisdom? What does my character believe would happen if the sword were to move locations but still be whole? Like if it were to be picked up
Like
and
a
carried
discern realities?
somewhere.
Let me take a look, see if there's any moves that would really work for that. Otherwise, I can maybe have you spout lore, if that's would be more. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and discern realities, and you can say what is about to happen, or something like that, like what is about to happen, or what will happen if the sword is moved. I think that's okay. So that would be plus wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay.
Okay, so you may ask one, and your one question is what will happen, what do you believe will happen if the sword is moved?
Yes.
From what you can tell from what Axiom has said about what he's discerned as the evil, and he can tell it is coming from the object, and from what you could tell from magic, it is also coming from the object. Moving the sword would at least have no effect on the sword itself. So
Right, but more about the circle of
The
would it
interaction between the unholy area and the sword.
Yeah, would it follow the sword? Would the circle move with it? That's what I'm trying
well,
to
the
find
thing is,
out.
like, there isn't. It's basically like once you've entered into this space, this is the space of influence of this object. So if you pick it up and move it, you are basically moving its space of influence.
And probably the trees will die as we carry it, or something like that. Or just cease to exist.
All right. I'm going to recommend to Axiom that we fall back for right now. I perhaps have a way of dealing with this now that we know what it is. But I'm going to have to take about an hour or so to prepare my spells. So I try to convince Axiom to step back in the circle.
I'm actually going to grab my halberd and charge towards the sword, trying to destroy the evil.
Okay. Can you please defy danger with your wisdom?
I hope so.
Okay. As you charge towards the sword, you hear the voice of Avel again in your mind, and it's the same voice that you heard before that was telling you to pick up the sword. And you hear this command of Axiom, no, pick up the sword. This is my boon to you. And
Oh yeah, those boons worked out so well before.
Let's see. I'm trying to think because I need to offer you a hard bargain, an ugly choice, or a worse outcome. And I don't really know what that would be in this case. I think I'm gonna go to break here, and I'm gonna think about what that roll means. And when we come back, we'll get that all figured out. So we're gonna take our final break here. We have about an hour left to go. So we'll be back in about 5 minutes once I figure out what to do. So we'll see you then.
We stumped the GM, guys.